All right, Scum and Villainy! It's 2-2-2-2-2! Let's welcome Kevin Smith and Marc Bernardin to Fat Man Beyond!
Welcome back to Fat Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Oh! We just gave each other COVID doing all that, man. Welcome back, kids. Here we are in the real world. We're both coated up because it was very chilly in the green room out back. It's cold in Los Angeles and shit. We might as well be doing this fucking show in Jersey. Weather's not what it's meant to be and shit. Before we get started, kids, I'll forget if I don't do this. We got birthday in the house tonight.
Yeah. Whose birthday?
Steven Silva. Is your birthday? Where are you? Where are you?
Where? Who else's birthday?
Where are you? Over there. Steven. Welcome, man. Hold that thought. It's your fucking birthday, too?
Happy birthday.
It is your birthday? Fucking hey, what's your name?
Mike.
Any other birthdays? Who's me?
You in the back?
Are you serious? Holy shit. We know when all of your parents fucked, man. All we have to do is count back 9 months. Mark, do the math. What is it?
Nope.
No. What's your name?
Byron.
All right, so we got a Byron, we got a Mike.
And
we
Steven.
got Steven. Ladies and gentlemen, years ago we couldn't do this because allegedly Warner Brothers owned the song, and then thanks to a landmark lawsuit that proved they've never owned the fucking song, we can all sing happy fucking birthday without fearing fucking Bugs Bunny coming through the door. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Steven, Mike, and Byron, we'll get all their names in the fucking song. Let's do it. Count of 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Steven, Mike, and Byron.
Well done.
Happy birthday to you.
Well done, boys. Well done. God, that was it. I lost all my fucking breath on that one.
Yeah, I'll see you later. Have you had a good show tonight? We're going home.
I thought I was Whitney Houston for a second there, and I really went for it with lungs I don't have. Fuck, man.
Instead, you were Fergie, and it didn't work out so well.
I guess it was kind of Fergie-ish. Welcome, everybody. We got a bunch of fucking show for you tonight. If I am quiet and express no opinions whatsoever, it was because the last time we did this show, I made the mistake of saying that, with 10 Oscar nominations, I think it's weird that Spider-Man didn't get one and shit. And then 3 days later, I was treated like fucking Hitler on the internet, man. So fucking bad. I saw fucking people tweeting shit like, you should have died with your heart attack. People were I'm serious, people were fucking mad, man. Like, as if it was outrageous hot take or something like that. So I had to deal with it for a good, 24, fucking 36 hours and shit. And then 72 hours later, the Academy came out and said, we're going to let the audience vote on an award so that Spider-Man could get a mention and shit. So, fucking, if I seem a little circumspect tonight, it's because I don't want to get yelled at by strangers for suggesting that the movie could have been nominated, not win. Motherfucker was like, there's no way it should win. You're an asshole. I was like, I didn't even say it could win or should win. But I was like, when they extended that category of Best Picture from 5 nominations to 10, it was after The Dark Knight. And it was because they were like, The Dark Knight should have been fucking nominated. We only had 5 slots. In the future, we're going to extend it so more popular films can fucking get nominated. And so I mentioned on the podcast, like, fucking, they got to include more populist films if they want people to watch it, shit. And then a bunch of fucking film Twitter just came for me, bro. Holy shit. Like, I had no recourse and shit. It wasn't like, hey, I made Clerks. They're like, fuck you. They just, you know Nolan. I was like, I know. But they came after me so fucking hard for suggesting that it could have been one of 10 films nominated, for fuck's sake. So, if I don't talk a lot tonight, if Mark does most of the talking, and hopefully he has a fiery fucking opinion that makes the internet mad at him, it's only for that reason.
Oh, well, I had some love the week before you decided that Spider-Man was good.
What happened to you?
Oh, I had feelings about Joe Rogan. And I'm not sure if you've been on the internet when you have feelings about Joe Rogan.
How was that?
Oh, sweet.
You and me gotta stay off the fucking internet, man. But
Apparently-
honestly, like with the Spider-Man thing, it wasn't even a hot take. Like, I could see if I was getting political. I could see if I was talking about vaccines and shit like that.
Check.
Literally fucking just going like, hey man, couldn't Spider-Man have been one of the nominations? And people were like fucking just out. It was outrageous, dude. Like, I didn't cry. But I did go to sleep at 4 in the afternoon where I was like, I hate this fucking world. Cuddled up with fucking Shecky. It was just
a
like
sad wank and a nap, and then that was it.
Jesus Christ, man. And
I
didn't jerk off. I was too depressed to jerk off. Do you
That's
jerk
when
off
you
when
jerk
you're depressed?
off?
I only jerk off with joy. I don't do it out of a sense of like,
Talk about privilege.
holy shit. Oh, that's a whole other thing. I put up a tweet about that too, where I was like, hey man, somebody suggested that I might, I thought I was a self-made man, and they suggested you're a creature of privilege. And I was like, thoughts? And I shared no opinion one way or the other.
Fair.
And it was divided, I wouldn't say evenly, but very divided between people who were like, I would say 40 and up, who were like, damn straight you're a self-made man. And then every fucking Gen Z or millennial on the planet going, you privileged fuck. Coming down to, and this is the one I'd like to throw out there just to see if I did come for a world of privilege. Did you have access to credit cards when you were like in early college, like 19, 20, 21? Did predatory lending go after you like it went after me?
Yes.
So when did you have your first credit card?
Probably 23, I think. And it went badly.
Fucking late bloomer, man.
Well-
It went badly. That's why they didn't give you a fucking credit card.
Yeah, they were not jumping to give me a credit card because credit is not a thing that often gets extended to certain populations.
Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah.
So even predatory lending like stops at a color line where they're like, look, we'll get anybody except them.
There are algorithms at work.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I am privileged because I went into the world of filmmaking with a fistful of credit cards, none of which I ever used in my life prior to making the movie. But I got them over the course of a 2-year contest with Brian Johnson. We were going to Brookdale Community College and shit. And like, I can't speak for Brian, but I grew up fucking broke-ass poor and shit. So it's not like they were like, oh, here's somebody with money and shit. But every fucking junior college kid, they would inundate you with applications for credit cards and stuff. And no, maybe my memory's incorrect. Sometimes you would just get sent a credit card in the mail, even if you didn't fucking apply for it. So I guess that is privilege. So, so I would fill out. One day, me and Johnson were like, fucking, let's have a contest to see who can get more credit cards the fastest. And I was like, all right. And I had no intention to use them because my parents were like, credit is the devil, cash only and shit like that. It had always been beat into me. But I was like, fuck it, for a contest, I think I can get this. I think I could win. Because I worked at fucking Quick Stop and RST Video.
You had a job.
And I had a job, but I would also write on my application, I was the manager of RST Video, and I made $50,000 a year. This is in 1989.
Shit.
Yes. So what happens
You
is...
could have bought Highlands making $50,000.
No shit, I was a magnate on paper. What happens is they call up to do a credit check. And so I was the only person ever at RST. So when they called, they were like, hi, we're running a credit check on Kevin Smith. I was like, oh, my manager, he makes $50,000 a year. And they were like, good enough, click, and that was it. And I get sent a credit card. So I beat Brian Johnson. He got 4, and I got 12. And I never fucking touched him. just stacked them up and left them in my underwear drawer. Never had a fucking use for them. And again, my parents were like, every time my mom saw one come in, she was like, don't do that. Nothing good comes from credit cards. Like, something must have happened to them early in their lives, which they never told me about, man.
Somebody came and collected the VIG
I
from
guess.
that first credit card.
I guess. But that was it. Like, I couldn't have made Clerks without that dopey stack of fucking credit cards. But what you're telling me right now is the fact that I even had a dopey stack of credit cards, which I took for granted as like, oh my God, every teenager and fucking early 20-something in the 90s got that because everyone I was surrounded by got it. But now I realize that everyone I was surrounded by, Mark, didn't look like you at all. So,
You know,
I'm starting to catch on to the game, Mark.
I was just going to let you find it, and you did.
I appreciate that.
And you did. But the thing to remember is that it's not your fault. You did nothing to gain that privilege. It's not like you were, hey, good thing I'm a white guy, I'm going to get a bunch of this shit. The world was a bit easier. And
It was a bit easier, because I wasn't like that good kind of white where they're like, this way, monsieur.
You aren't the Eddie Murphy and whiteface kind of white?
Yes.
There's a separate barbershop.
When I
for
saw
you.
that sketch, I was like, no way, not in my world. But in any event, we're going to stop doing hot takes. So this is going to be the softest fucking show you ever heard. It's going to be like, hey, DC's doing a thing. Isn't that great?
It's going to be the ASMR of podcasts. Just,
Yes.
What does it sound like?
Soft talking. If you tuned in to be like, let's get some more hot takes from these fuckers, man. Burn down the Oscars. Bullshit. Nothing like that this week.
Nope.
However, I will say this.
Don't do it.
I just saw a fucking tweet where the Oscars are not going to be broadcasting certain categories that are going to be awarded. Now, that happens every year. Usually some technical shit they give off camera where they're like, some motherfucker invented a microphone, we gave him a fucking Oscar, and you don't need to know about it. And they show a clip of some old guy shocked on a stage somewhere weeks ago and shit. So that's standard, but generally, the big categories that are required to make a fucking motion picture that these awards celebrate and stuff, minus Spider-Man, still sticks in my craw.
Couldn't resist.
They've announced the categories that won't be on television this year. And some of them, I feel are like, what? How can you not do that? One is film editing, which is like, in the art of filmmaking, fucking editing, you're not going to show that category. But that's me as a filmmaker, and I don't even consider myself a director. I consider myself an editor first. It's easy and wonderful and convenient because the critics, they don't consider me a director either. But I always consider myself an editor that just happens to direct his own films. So I'm always interested in fucking editing, and I know how crucial it is to the process to have them be like, we're going to do that off camera. That, to me, is like, as a director, I'm like, that's fucking weird. As a filmmaker, I said that's weird. The one that's really fucking weird, though, that I'm like, you're not going to do that on camera, is best score.
Yeah.
Which, like, our whole lives growing up, I realize that we're maybe responsible for this. Our whole lives growing up watching this stupid fucking show. They do a dance number, and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to take a shit. And you'd leave the room, and fucking, like, you didn't care, and somebody who didn't sing the song was singing the song if it was up for best song or whatever the fuck. And now I guess they listen. They're like, all right, fuck it. We're not going to show you best score. And I'm like, what? And now we're not going to get to see that. That's going to be given in a separate ceremony. And they'll do a kind of clip package of like, this is what happened a couple weeks ago. But those two categories, would you agree, should be, if you're doing a show that celebrates the art of cinema, and I really fucking hope Film Twitter and I can see eye to eye on this one, don't you think at least those two categories, if not production design, which was also fucking something we're like, well, we'll do it a few weeks before the ceremony. They're leaving them off. Thoughts?
I think we've said it before on the podcast, and I think we might have even mentioned it last week when we talked about John Williams and his 90th birthday, that I think John Williams is the single most important person in film in the last 100 years. In that if that person doesn't exist, none of the movies that we love them the same way.
That's true.
Because that music is integral to the development of a generation or two of movie fans.
Yes. Imagine if Jaws was just like, oh, baby shark, baby shark, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Not nearly as terrifying.
Nope.
Steven Spielberg doesn't have a career.
But I want to see that cut now.
Fuck yeah, right? But
so
yes.
yeah, it's boggling to the mind that they would take, especially those two, that are tenets of the way movies are made. and decide that we don't need to hear the speeches of those artisans, and that's ultimately what it is. They're trying to cut down the running time, so let's take off the speeches from people that we won't recognize and just let fucking Brad Pitt talk for longer. Or let's let Anne Hathaway talk for longer. Or Benedict Cumberbatch, who will probably win a thing.
That's right, because he's up for Year of the
Because he's
Dog.
up for it. I mean, so, like, from a production standpoint, I understand it. I think it's awful, because be what you're supposed to be, which is a celebration of the people who make movies. And these movies this year, and these are the way you make movies, we're celebrating it every step along the way. Fuck that. And also, fuck the weird, like, people's choiceification of the Oscars. Of like, hey, Twitter, write in what name you'd like us to say on the broadcast. Like, fuck you. I didn't come here to hear Twitter's thoughts about it.
Wow.
Fuck you, Twitter.
They're coming for you.
Do your worst.
Banff Man, did I hear you try to Banff in earlier? Give it up for Banff Man, everybody. Look who it is. It's JC.
Yeah, when you were talking about predatory lending.
Yeah.
I was wondering, when you guys were in college, did they like offer like sign up for this credit card and get a free T-shirt or get a like pair of sunglasses or something like that?
That Marlboro Miles fueled my fucking early 20s and shit.
Yeah, I just remember signing up for like 20 cards because I was like, that's a cool shirt. Oh, I need a pair of fake Oakleys.
Yeah, no, I was...
Fucking white guy, right?
I mean, Oakleys.
Privileged fucker.
Whatever. No, I was that way with magazine subscriptions. Like, if you were going to give me a shirt or a hat or a phone, then I probably had Sports Illustrated or whatever. I'm like, I don't give a shit, but you gave me a football phone? I don't have an extension in my room, but I got a phone.
I remember that, and I wasn't a sports fan, but I was like, that's a cool phone. I might subscribe just for that. You had it?
Yeah, didn't have a line in my room, but I had the phone. It was an optimistic phone. It was like at some point.
One day I'm going to have my own place. Where's the fucking phone now?
I don't know, man.
You're a grown-ass man with your own house. You could be plugging it in.
Like now I have a line.
Hey, we got sponsors.
We do.
We have to pay the bills, kids. So we welcome. We don't curse sponsors around here. Fuck, we love sponsors. And this sponsor we love, they're always fucking giving us money for this show. Which says to me that the audience must stink because apparently they need their product. We're talking about the good folks at Native. Give it up for Native, ladies and gentlemen. Fucking Native, man. I see these products like crazy because once they come into the house, my wife absconds with them. Once they run out, she rebuys her own. She fucking loves Native. I started using deodorant again recently. I stopped like 25 fucking years ago or something like that. It wasn't some like Shailene Woodley thing. It was just I had a girlfriend who was just like, yeah. But yet you've never smelled me, right?
No. No, I haven't.
I had a girlfriend
because
who was
the
like, "Don't
weed
wear
overtakes everything else.
That's true. That's right. I do kind of wear a deodorant. I just happen to smoke it instead of roll it on. But Native, I started using because around Christmas time they put out the candy cane flavor, which was legit fucking smelling good. And then they put out the fucking the butter cookie flavor, which was tasty as fuck, man.
Yeah.
And then my wife at one point, we were like fooling around, and she was just like, "What smells like food?" And I was like, "That's right, I've gone Native." They've been a sponsor of the show for such a long time, man, and it makes me think that the only reason they would do that, continue the sport, is if folks here are buying Native. So thank you to anybody who listens to the show. Go to native.com. Is that the address?
NativeDEO.
That's it.
.com.
The DEO.
/Fatman.
NativeDEO.com. It's right up there on the screen. Holy shit. I can see the fucking screen.
What?
This is like a telethon. I feel like Jerry Lewis. Look at the graphics. I remember when this show didn't have shit like that. Well done, Banff Man. Give it up for Banff Man, everybody. Banff Man and fucking the unsung hero, Andrew, in the back. Give it up for Andrew. You don't see him, but he sees you. What are the good folks at Native saying this week, Mark?
If you haven't tried Native deodorant, here's what you need to know.
You're fucking dumb. There, fucking, I finished the copy for them.
Well done, and we're done. It's aluminium free.
Yeah.
I like to say it
That's
that
the
way.
British way.
I know, it makes me feel fancy.
Classy.
Offers 24-hour odor protection, is vegan and cruelty-free.
That's why I eat it.
Is with naturally derived ingredients, and you can choose from over 10 scents. So don't sweat making that switch from antiperspirant to a deodorant. With over 1,500 five-star reviews, Native will keep you feeling fresh all day long.
Don't stink, kids. Go to nativedeo.com. Is there a Fat Man thing?
There is. Smell and feel fresh all day long with Native. Get 20% off your first order by going to nativedeo.com. 20%. I know, right?
Well done, man.
nativedeo.com/fatman or use promo code fatman at checkout. That's nativedeo.com.
Kind of weird going to a fucking deodorant site and fucking clicking Fat Man. They're like, oh, we know.
Yeah, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
/fatman, use promo code fatman at checkout for 20% off your first order.
There it is. We thank the good folks at Native. Give it up for nativedeo.com, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? What's been going on in your life, man? I saw on Twitter that you fucking a thing went away.
A thing went away.
You get to say what it is yet or not yet?
I can't say exactly what it is or who it was with,
there's no kids. There's no protocol on something like this. When you're involved with a project that dies, there's nobody ever says like, you know, you are or you aren't allowed to say shit. I think it's self-governed. We tend to not want to say things. Keen hopes that it might find life in another place and stuff. But that's the only reason he's going to be coy about this, just because it could wind up coming to life someplace else.
There's always hope.
Yes.
But I was supervising a couple of writers on a pilot that was going to be for Amazon. That ultimately Amazon, they were not in the business of making the kind of show that we were making.
Would they run out of money?
No, but we were not going to make them Lord of the Rings money.
Oh, shit.
Like they.
Could you make him any of that Reacher money? Holy fuck.
Did Reacher scratch all your riches?
Like literally. What a great review. I told my friend Ernie O'Donnell, he was like, I watched the new Texas Chainsaw with my wife. And she called me an asshole and walked out. And I said, fucking, then you got to watch Reacher with her, bro. And he goes, Reacher? He's like, the Tom Cruise movie? And I was like, no, man, they did a whole ass show on Amazon called Reacher. And the guy's fucking giant. And he's based on the books. I said, Mark told me to fucking that he liked it. And I fucking, you know, one night I was sitting there with Jenna. I was like, yeah, Mark says Reacher is watchable. And he was right about that other fucking show with Mads Mikkelsen, that movie.
Riders of Justice.
Fucking Riders of Justice. I was like, let's give it a roll. This fucking Reacher show is so fucking satisfying. Every episode is satisfying. The whole, I can't think of a better word for it, man. It's like Batman with no cape. That's it. He just fucking rolls around punching fuckers and killing them. There's one fucking scene in Reacher, man, that like blew my fucking mind. It was so small, throwaway. Nobody probably thinking about it but me, but it really captured my imagination, probably because I was so fucking baked when I was watching it. Reacher is like, you know, tricks a bunch of fuckers into coming to a house and they're going to kill him, but fucking bullshit. Reacher gets killed by nobody. He's going to fucking turn the tables and kill their asses, right? So they're all in the house hunting for him and shit like that. And there's one guy in the getaway truck just sitting there, you know, the wheelman and shit. He ain't killing anybody, but he is involved with bad people, so fuck you, you had it coming.
Guilt by association.
Guilt by association. So he's sitting there in a fucking car, man, and then this happens in the span of, I kid you not, 5 fucking seconds. He looks over, fucking Reacher's right outside the driver's side window with, you know, military fucking face paint. The closest you get to a mask, but it was so fucking badass. And he looks at him. Dude has no time to react before fucking Reacher punches through that fucking window, grabs that fucking guy before he can get his gun, slams him on the roof, and starts pulling him out. And this dude's fucking struggling and shit like that. And he gets him right onto the fucking ground. And the dude, like, this is me projecting onto the dude. But like 4 seconds, he must have been like, what the fuck? Who the fuck? Why did he break the, what the fuck? Get off of me, ow! And then he pulls him onto the fucking ground. You're face down on the ground, and in your head, you're like, I'm gonna get up and kill this fucking, I gotta get it. Before he could have the thought could conclude, Reacher fucking steps on his neck and breaks it. And I fucking died. I was laughing so hard. I was like, that fucking poor piece of shit. He did not know the Lord was coming and the Lord was named a Reacher, man. He just reached in and pulled that fucker out and curbed him. Holy shit. I ain't seen a more satisfying show in a long time. As I put it up there with Peacemaker in terms of the fucking body count. It's crazy. It's wonderful. Who's the guy that plays him, do you know?
Alan Ritchson.
Give this guy a fucking award. He should be nominated for one of the 10 Best Picture films. There's your hot take for the week. This fucking Alan Ritchson?
Yeah.
Astounding. He was in Smallville years ago. He played like
Was he?
Aquaman. He was in the Titans. He played Hawk. Hawk. Fuck, he's good, man. He's just like, number one, he's fucking huge. And so everybody reacts to him the way they should. They're like, Jesus, you're big. And fucking, he's already intimidating. And he could kill like fucking 96 ways before he can finish your breath and shit like that. He's a good guy, got a moral code and shit. Doesn't seem racist, kills everybody, don't fucking matter. You know, fucking real just satisfying. Ep by ep, I was like, fuck, man. Here's the best review I could give it. If I could dig up my father, my dead father who's been dead for like almost 20 years and shit, number one, it'd be a miracle because we cremated him. But if I could dig up his body and fucking sit him in front of the TV to watch Reacher, it would literally bring him back to life. Because this show was made for my father.
It is very much a dad show.
You would think, right?
No, it's not. I would think. Like
But
those books
we're
are
both
dad.
dads.
Those books are dad books.
And yet my wife sat there and watched every episode with me and remarked on every episode. She's like, I shouldn't like this show, but I like when he kills these people. And I was like, isn't it fucking satisfying? Like, that should be justice right there, man.
I think the key to Reacher's appeal
What is it? Why do I love it so much?
is that it's very much about the power fantasies of a man of a certain age. Like, wouldn't it
This
be...
ain't another privileged conversation,
No,
is
no,
it?
no.
Don't ruin Reacher for me,
I'm
man.
not ruining Reacher for you.
I said he hates all races equally.
No, I'm saying that when you get to be like, I don't know, mid-40s and nothing works the way it used to work, your knees are a little shot, you're a little henpecked by that battle axe of a wife you have, like, your job is unsatisfying, like, the world is...
I think we're seeing inside of Marc Bernardin right now.
I'm saying the Reacher is the id that nobody gets to have anymore.
Is that right?
Reacher's the dude who walks into a town, nobody can fuck with him. If you step to Reacher, he's going to kill you. He's not even going to hurt you. He's going to kill you. He's going to shoot you in the back just because. You know, all
He
the
did.
girls...
He shot some people in the back.
All the guys want
It
to be
was beautiful.
Yeah.
That part was really
and then
beautiful.
he
Like,
goes-
you sold it that way, too. You're like, I think I saw it on, I don't know if it was on the show or on Twitter, where you're like, sometimes you just want to watch a show where a guy settles all things by shooting somebody in the back.
And then asks, you got a problem with that? They were bad guys.
Yes.
I do think it's the power fantasy. It's what if the world didn't have the mechanism to keep me down anymore? You know, like every authority he
And
bucks.
what if I was fucking like 7 foot
Right.
tall?
What if I walked into every room and everyone was afraid of me? What if every woman I ran into wanted to sleep with me? What if I could just live untethered and unfettered by the world? I can just travel from fucking bus stop to bus stop, righting wrongs, fighting crimes, and then go to the next fucking town. I murder everybody, and there's no repercussions for that. There's nobody like, I'm going to arrest that dude, because even if they do, they're like, oh, Reacher. And then they'll let you out of jail.
They put,
kill more fucking dudes.
They put Reacher in jail so many times, rightfully, for taking a life. And on bizarre technicalities, like, all right, Reacher, get out of that cell.
Like, did you kill that guy? Yes, but he was bad. All right, Reacher. So, like, I understand why it is as popular as it is.
Yeah. Is it popular?
It's hugely popular.
I'm glad.
You know,
Fucking-
and
I'm
I
sorry
know-
that they're not doing your show, but I'm glad they did that show.
No, I get it. Like, and I also get now why people were pissed off at Tom Cruise's casting.
Oh my God. Because I liked Reacher so fucking much that I was like, well, I'm going to go watch the Tom Cruise ones. You know, I've never seen him and shit. And it's all the difference between like a show that's, even though it's like fantastical as fuck, somewhat grounded in reality. This is a giant man who knows how to kill in many different ways and fight. So clearly he could do some damage. I'm not saying like people that aren't as big as, because I don't want to get fucking killed on Twitter again, but I'm not saying like people aren't as tall as Alan Ritchson can't fucking kick ass. But the Tom Cruise version of Reacher, which I watched, there are 2 movies, not just one. They did a second one with Colby Smulders.
Never look back.
Never Look Back. It feels more like a movie because, like, when you watch Reacher the show, you're like, this guy could fucking kill anybody. When you watch Reacher the movie, you're like, oh, this is a movie because they're saying Tom Cruise could kill anybody. Because he's facing like fucking dudes with guns bigger than him. And again, I'm not like ruling out fucking martial arts and shit like that, but like it's tough. It's more like a movie where you're like, this is what happens in the movies. Whereas Reacher, you're like, I think this is a documentary. Like, I think this shit happened somewhere in Georgia, and I'm gonna go deep diving on the internet about it.
Georgia/Canada.
Yeah. Is that where they shot it?
Yeah. That is not Georgia at all. But the power fantasy with Tom Cruise isn't there the way it is for this dude. Like, Reacher is Conan the Barbarian.
Yes.
Which is, I will just run into this fucking town. What's happening? Is there a bar? I'm going to drink. I'm going to have sex. I'm going to steal some shit. I'm going to kill some people.
Hold on.
Move on.
You keep throwing sex in there, and I want you're really fucking besmirching my boy Reacher. There was a little sex, but not as much as you're saying. Don't make him out to be the American James Bond where he fucks him, loves him, and leaves him and shit like that.
But
Reacher's got a good fucking heart, Mark. He helped out Roscoe. I can't talk to you anymore.
Yeah. Except that he also had to fuck Roscoe because that's what your hero does.
I believe, if I remember the show correctly, Roscoe wanted to fuck him.
Because of course she does. Have you seen that man?
Bro, I wanted to fuck him. The dude's a man, a mountain of man. Just fuck.
Hence the fantasy.
Yes.
And that's fine.
Yes. I had fantasies of my own while I watched this show. My big fantasy was like, season 2 is starting next week. But why can't they fucking make this show faster than the average show? Because literally, it's just a dude who walks into a town. There's no special effects. And they're like, look at the fucking spaceship. This guy's fucking flying. It's just a dude who walks into town and beats people up. All he needs is some stuntmen, get that fucking show done. I demand a new Reacher every month. I don't see in a world, it's Amazon. They're not giving you the money to make your show. Fucking give it to Reacher to make more fucking shows, one per month. Because they got how many books?
In the 20s, I think.
Oh my God. That's like 20 years of Reacher I have to look forward to. I can't wait to go home and tell my wife, like, I figured out what we're doing until we die. We're living from Reacher to Reacher, man.
Watching this corn-fed white boy just demolish everybody.
He's going to be so old and shit. My parents, like, they had a show. I guess they watched one of those, like, before my old man died. Was CSI or one of those fucking Navy shows on... like 20 years ago, the Mark Harmon fucking
NCISS.
That was the one that they would watch together.
Yeah.
Like my mom still talks about it. She's like, "Oh, me and your father watch NCIS or whatever the fuck," and it was in the way where I was like, "Mom, did you want to fuck Mark Harmon? Like, why? Why are you so into the show?" But it was connected to Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was maybe after the show, Dad was like, "Let's do it." Maybe that's when he got laid. He was like, "I loved NCIS night. Holy shit."
NCISEX.
Yes, NCIS6. Come on, Grace, take off that fucking uniform. Do they wear uniforms on that show?
I don't know.
Why aren't they in the military? Isn't there a branch of the military that you don't have to wear fucking the outfit? Because then I might have joined.
The uniform was keeping you out?
That's the only thing. I was like, I can't wear that.
Catholic school, Navy? Nope, not doing either.
Makes me look fat.
I've never seen NCIS.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll drop it here.
Fair enough. So my show got killed.
Sorry.
Which is all right because
Reacher lives.
Reacher lives, and I achieved picture lock on my short film.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Splinter Short.
Splinter Short. Locked.
You happy with the cut?
I'm happy with the cut. Thank you for your notes. Kevin gave me some very thoughtful suggestions.
I did.
Yes, I took some of them.
I wasn't like, you got to do all this. But I was like, this is what I would do. And he was like, you made yoga